And we're back with the And Go podcast. Welcome to a BBM product. This week, in line with our Disney musical top 10, we're going to talk about our top two, The Lion King, and more importantly, Aladdin. And go, guys.
So I guess we're talking about the live action remakes. Was that the idea? Wasn't that what we were talking about? Spitballing.
Let's start with the actual movies, then we can disgrace our memories of those movies.
Okay.
So, in Aladdin, you had rag to riches story about a simple street urchin just eking out. He meets a princess, he gets thrown in prison, and then he meets a genie who makes all his wishes come true. I say that a little facetiously because that seems to be the theme of Aladdin. Wishes do not improve lives. In fact, they tend to complicate them.
Pretty standard storyline, I suppose, in Aladdin. Boy meets girl. Although I guess Princess Jasmine was seen as kind of breaking the mold for Disney princesses at the time, right? Because she wanted to be super independent and everything.
Yeah.
I think in that scene where she's trapped in the hourglass, originally they were going to have it to where she breaks herself out to kind of keep with that theme of I don't need no man, you know. But I can't remember why they rewrote it so that Aladdin ends up rescuing her. Visually, great movie. The carpet, I believe, was all 3D animation. I mean, and obviously Robin Williams, man, you can't probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to compare
up to
Robin
think
Williams
of
to anyone
another.
else.
Yeah, I was gonna say I can't think of a better voiceover performance in any other Disney movie, to be honest.
Yeah. It was one of the
Yeah, I
best
mean, all the
voice
comedians, they
acting
throw out
performances
all
ever.
these roles.
Yeah. Yeah, which when we get to the live action part, I have some things to say.
But basically, best comedic character. I mean, Eddie Murphy was in a ton of movies. I mean, who else can compare to Robin Williams when it comes to a comedic voiceover? And then Disney had to fuck that up with the license agreement and got Robin Williams mad at them. Seems to happen a lot. Like Back to the Future, the guy who played George McFly, he got pissed for a different reason.
Well, he was a nut bar anyway, but
Yeah, they kind of screwed him over though and got a look-alike and then put a bunch of makeup on the guy and basically kind of pretended it was Crispin Glover. And I think he actually won that lawsuit.
Yeah. But it's a different sort of story with Robin Williams. That's sort of the Alan Moore Watchmen situation there, where the company.
yeah, what was it?
agreed-
He didn't want his name used in the marketing or something like that.
Yeah, I think that was the gist of it. He didn't want.
And they said, "Oh yeah, yeah, we won't do it, man. We won't do it. Don't worry about it." And then they totally welched on the agreement, and that's why he didn't come back for Aladdin 2. But I think someone gave him a Picasso painting or something, so they mended fences, and he wound up back for Aladdin 3, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, before we move on to Lion King, anything more about the greatness of Aladdin?
I mean, I could talk all day about how they're just fantastic. All the musical numbers, even the sappier ones, I still enjoy.
No,
Just
we're
great.
manly men, and yet we almost got a tear in some moments.
Princess Jasmine was the original woman with a tiger.
Is there a
that's
new
not-
woman with a tiger?
Screw Carol Baskin.
Oh, right.
So Lion King, how about that as a theme? I mean,
How about that?
you had the Fallen Prince theme in that story, and it worked well. All the songs fit, and they were epic. It might have been a little bit stolen, Lion King of a story. I hear there was an anime. I don't know what came first, Kimbo the White Lion. Disney's notorious for unoriginal work, but that's no surprise. They worked it enough, and it was a great musical with... It's probably the best musical they did with animal characters. I mean, We brought up the Aristocats earlier. I brought up the Rescuers. They were all little fun pieces, but Aladdin was an epic story in the same veins as, well, there really wasn't anything to compare. King Arthur is the best comparison.
No, it all the way around. Both films were I mean, kind of inarguably some of the best Disney's ever put out in the Disney revival.
Yeah,
I mean,
not only the films were good story wise, the music all were iconic. I can at least name
It's
three
actually
Disney songs from each one of those, and I have a horrible memory.
it's a really good love story too in The Lion King. Normally, I feel like it kind of broke the mold, and they were childhood friends, and then Simba has to go for a while, and he comes back. So it's kind of different than the whole, boy meets girl, boy doesn't think he's good enough for girl, and then he proves his worth through whatever.
were you just bashing Aladdin there?
Well, it's like, yeah, a little
Like,
bit.
screw
I mean,
you, Aladdin. You're
it's
born
my
a street
favorite.
rat, and you'll die a street rat, and only your fleas will mourn you.
I don't buy that. Ba, 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 ba. So yeah, great movies. I
Yeah.
mean, technically fantastic. I didn't really like, to be honest, if we're talking about it, I could have gone without. Unpopular opinion. Can you feel the love tonight?
I was just about to say the exact same thing. It felt forced in and out of place.
Yeah. As much as I love Sir Elton John.
That to me, that whole thing was a little weird because when Simba leaves, he's like a little kid.
Mhm.
So it's just like this big love story out of nowhere. When I don't know, it just felt kind of weird to me. Like they tried to shoehorn in something that didn't need to be there, at least not at that part in the movie. I'm like, so is Disney just trying to like make us watch lions do it or what?
Well,
kind of weird.
If it is based on an anime, I never saw Kimba the White Lion. Anime is notorious for having childhood friend hookups, so that might play a part. I don't know how connected those two movies are.
I feel like Disney always just wants to have some sort of love interest somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a prerequisite.
Yeah.
Which is why Frozen was supposed to be like this, subversive take on the Disney princess.
But then they actually kind of do that anyway, so I'm
Yeah. Ba-da-da-da-ba-ba-da-da-da. Sorry. So,
can't wait to be king.
so they take these classics, right? And I think for the sake of time, we're just leaving it at the 2 live-action remakes. So they take these classics and say, you know what? We need $1 billion again. Let's go ahead and redo these live-action style. What came first, Aladdin? The live-action Aladdin?
They came out pretty close together. I don't remember which one was first.
Mm.
I want to say Aladdin, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, they were both the same year, so I think Aladdin did come out first. They wanted the big name in Will Smith. Then they had, what was the big name in Lion King? Beyonce, or was there someone else?
Was a pretty big cast.
Yeah, I mean, they went with Lion King was killing on Broadway, from what I know.
I feel like even I don't know, that was a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of your favorite sayings, Mike, and I feel like it fits the best here. Is definitely a cash grab. That's really all those live action films were. I personally, even conceptually, I have an issue with Lion King because it's not live action.
Right.
And it frustrates the hell out of me because I know that it's being kind of nitpicky and I don't want to be that like nerdy guy that was like, well, actually, but seriously, it's just computer animation. Like, I don't know if they had tried to do something maybe to where they took the story and I don't know, use people, but I guess that's just doing Shakespeare at that point. But you know what I mean,
Yeah, if it were like some sort of Homeward Bound situation where they
Yeah, or
had
yeah.
the animals and they just voice over the animals, but I assume that would be really hard to do with fucking lions.
Yeah. Plus, then you get
Uh,
into the whole animal cruelty thing, and that whole
sure.
question. So I understand why they did that, but I don't see the point from the get go of doing Lion King in that with that treatment, other than just because they know people will pay to watch it.
And it's almost a shame, I feel. Like, with this generation, are they growing up as thinking that those are. Like, when they think of Aladdin, do they automatically think of,
Yeah,
live action Aladdin? They automatically think of, live
God, I
action
hope
Lion
not.
King as their.
Will
I know,
Smith.
right?
They think of Will
Yeah,
Smith as the genie, and
that's heartbreaking.
he does a
Yeah.
passable job, and he puts his own little spin on it.
Not based on what I've seen.
Yeah,
Should we dive into that?
Sure, why not?
I haven't seen the movie, so I'm not going to say much on this, but I got the impression that Will Smith is just too cool to be the genie. Um,
Yep.
in the one song I listened to before this, he's like trying to do his Men in Black Wild West theme
Thank
song
you.
thing,
Yeah.
and he doesn't really lean into the zany. Now I don't know if that's really more of a problem with the direction. I don't know how many takes they did on the song. He just seems very uninterested and very stilted, and like he's just trying to be too cool.
I think what it is that when they chose Will Smith, they knew what they were getting, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were like, well, we're going to let Will Smith be Will Smith and make it. Yes, it's Aladdin, but it's also a Will Smith movie. And the thing is, I like Will Smith. I even like his style of movie music. I like the whole Men in Black thing, and even the Wild Wild West song. Like, I like that, But for Aladdin, it felt a little disjointed. And I like the character that he ends up kind of playing as the genie. It kind of has that, I don't know, like Hitch vibe, where he's kind of like helping Aladdin out. And I get what they were going for there, but it just didn't resonate with me the same way. I think you're right. I think he didn't lean into the zany. Personally, I think if it were me and I was going to sit down and cast that with Robin Williams being passed away, I would go with Jack Black. He can sing. He's got the kind of same energy. He's kind of the spiritual successor of Robin Williams now. I mean, you can't replace Robin Williams as the genie by any means, but I feel like if I was going to go for that feel of Aladdin, I would go with Jack Black.
That would have been fantastic. Yeah. I wonder if he was ever in consideration.
I don't know.
Would have been a good pick overall. Anyone else in that film you felt didn't really fit the role? I mean, from what I saw of it, Jasmine, Jafar. Aladdin, Jafar wasn't a good pick.
And the guy actually does a pretty good job at playing him, but it's not the same character that was written for the animated film because he's not old enough, he's not creepy enough, you know what I mean?
Because they had no Iago, I'm guessing.
I don't think so, no.
See?
Yeah,
the community.
Lion King had the same issue where they just delete characters, and you're like, what?
Iago is what made it really interesting for kids, I believe. I mean, I know he's sort of an outcast now after getting kicked from the Affleck role. I forget why. Gilbert Gottfried, I think I think 9/11 screwed him in because he did some jokes too soon, but I think there's probably more to that.
I've heard the live action Mulan is getting rid of Mushu.
What?
Yeah, right?
I mean, wasn't that Eddie Murphy?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Isn't he still kicking? I guess they don't want to CG. They want to go all serious, grimy, maybe.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I was just about to say that too. I feel like they miss an opportunity with these live action films because Aladdin and Lion King both, when you really boil it down, if you were to storyboard it out, it's almost shot for shot with the animated films, right? So in The Lion King, like we said, that doesn't even work. And it's better for Aladdin. I think it works a little bit better, but I feel like they missed an opportunity to make it, if you're going to do a live action version, to make it more realistic, more gritty, change things up. I don't know, maybe you keep a couple of the songs, but yeah, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, why not go all out and say, well, we're going to reconceptualize these Disney films for live action?
Yeah, and what from the clips, the songs I've seen of The Lion King, they really missed the ball on that. The Be Prepared song from Scar.
Oh, it's terrible.
I watched the music video basically on YouTube, and someone had a comment waiting for the music to start at the start of the video, then waiting for the music to start at the end. Also, Can You Feel the Love Tonight? That wasn't even shot at the night. That was not a night scene. It just sort of... I mean, we were talking about... You guys didn't feel Can You Feel the Love Tonight was the best fit for it, but... and Beyonce... And Beyonce... She was a miscast.
She, to me, will go down in my mind as one of the worst voice actors ever. It was so bad. And I have to blame the director. I mean, there had to have been somebody listening to this and said, okay, yeah, that's good enough, send it. I don't know if she read the lines 100 times or something, and they were just like, screw it, that's the best it's going to get. But a lot of it was so flat and so terrible. I mean, I don't know. Maybe she had like I have one day and to record all this kind of deal or something. I don't know what happened, in the production, but it was bad.
No, probably really just a miscast for the big name.
Yeah.
That's generally what happens in situations like this. They have a big name that they want to promote with the movie. They get a singer who really has very little acting experiences. Like, it's just voice acting. We can direct her through it. No, you
exactly,
cannot.
Yeah. It's people taking for granted how hard it is to voice act.
Donald Glover was probably one of the high points of that. And then it got James Earl Jones back, which I think was a smart move. Given the limited number of lines that Mufasa actually has. And I think that that Timon and Pumbaa were voiced pretty well by.
Yeah, wasn't
Seth Rogen?
Oh, was it Seth Rogen?
I think Seth Rogen was one of... Who was the other one?
Trying to remember the guy's name. He does those like quick interviews on the street thing. He's a comedian. It's like a gay dude. I don't remember.
That works for Timon. Did they really?
I don't know if he is or
did
not.
they pull the Timon and Pumbaa's gay sort of card, or at least quoted them?
I don't really think so. No, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if you really have to cover animals' sexuality.
I mean, that would be interspecies gay romance. So that would be
yeah, right.
Like in the new Beauty and the Beast, I know they made Gaston's lackey totally queer coded.
Hardly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he dances with a man at the end, and that was supposed to be this big. Oh, he's gay. See?
Yeah, Disney's not going to do the gay. LGBTQ plus community any favors, so the best they can do is some queer coding. Because, hell, they used to take flack for having like a penis in the animation, which was probably bullshit.
I don't know, man. Disney's been caught doing a lot of weird stuff with like sexual scenes, They had
so?
One animator and the rescuers put like a still frame from a porn in like the background of as they're like flying by. You can see it in like a lot of subliminal like little crap like that. And I think they actually did. The one animator did put like a freaking phallic penis shape in the castle, and they ended up like going back and retouching it out. Yeah,
I think was that the cover for Little Mermaid?
It was. Yeah.
Yeah. And they went back and
changed
discontinued that box and redid it.
There's an argument about the whole when Simba flops down in the animated version that the like dust spells sex or something, but they claim it spells like SFX or something, which was like the special effects team, or I don't know.
Why does it have to spell anything?
Yeah, I don't know. I think in the remaster versions, it's just a dust cloud.
Mm.
But yeah, no, those Seth Rogen or whoever that guy's name is, I can't remember it. He does a voice on Bob's Burgers as well.
Is it Elliot Merman?
Maybe I don't remember his name. He's funny though, but he does a pretty good job.
Can You Feel the Love Tonight is now stuck in my head, so I blame myself for that. How did James Earl Jones sound? Because in the little bits that he's done to go back and revoice Darth Vader, he sounds pretty old to me. He does not sound good. How was he in The Lion King?
No, I think he sounded all right. Yeah. To be honest, listening to it, it sounded to me like they may have even used some clips from the original recordings. I could be wrong.
That's smart.
But it's what it sounded like to me. But like I said, I don't know. But yeah,
Billy Eichner is that guy's name.
Yeah. I mean, he's no Nathan Lane, but I think he does a pretty good job. The only thing I was really mad about with Timon and Pumbaa was some of the lines that they changed, and I really didn't understand why. Like they call me Mr. Pig, and he like rushes through and boils through all the hyenas. For some reason, they cut that out, and he goes on like this weird little rant about bullying or something. I don't remember how it goes, but he's like, "I'll always stand up to a bully" or something before, and it just felt really weird and shoehorned in. I was like, "Come on."
Yeah, they're trying to put some of the current day politics in all these live actions, trying to make up for supposedly their past.
A lot of comedic and stylistic things were taken out, were sacrificed for I don't know, for social commentary and other stuff, which is kind of annoying because you need that like comedic and stylistic piece to make Disney films not feel boring, you know.
I noticed that in the
shown they can put out original things.
And You Got a Friend in Me, there's that part where the genie's like, "Oh, looky here," and he has like the girls dancing around Aladdin, right? Mm-hmm. They took that part out, and
yeah.
You know, I was singing the song, obviously, because I like the fucking song, watching the Will Smith version. And, they just kind of glaze over it with, like, a little drum solo part. And I thought it almost sounded like it was recorded, but they just edited it out. And like you said, why? Why?
Yeah, why?
Yeah.
Because it's sexist, Mike.
I guess so.
Yeah, we were talking about Aladdin. You said... Jafar for me was I feel like they should have gone with somebody older and creepier.
Sure.
You know, like they need to find like a Middle Eastern Jeff Goldblum or something.
Jeff Goldblum could have worked.
Jeff Goldblum would have killed it as Jafar, I think.
Yeah.
Missed opportunity there.
Yeah.
And he's like Lebanese or something, isn't he?
I mean, the melty stick is kind of like Jafar's staff, you know?
Sure.
It's just interrupting. Why would you hand me the melty stick?
It's not a capital offense.
Capital offense?
So they missed out having a Gilbert Godfrey, Iago, or someone else with annoying... They should bring back Goldflake. Bobcat Goldflake.
Goldthwait, yeah. It's a Goldflake.
Goldflake, Goldschlager. Bobcat, Goldschlager.
Whatever his name is, the guy. There were so many people with those funny voices back in the 80s and 90s, and that's just been phased out. I wonder why that is. I mean, many of them are offensive comedians, maybe.
Yeah, I was gonna say that, and I think also voice acting has gone largely to just getting recognizable names.
Yeah, and that's sad. Yeah. Most of the big voice actors are no ones. They're the best at it.
Yeah, H. John Benjamin has carved out a pretty good reputation, I think, between Archer and Bob's Burgers and his early work on home movies and everything.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of, like, the Pooh situation really sort of sullied the voice acting community. They had some... Well, he wasn't quite white, the guy who did Apu, but he definitely wasn't Indian, and he was doing an offensive accent.
Talking about Hank Azaria.
Yeah, Hank Azaria. I don't think he's a mixed, I think. but I could be wrong.
The guy who does Cleveland in Family Guy,
Yeah.
just a white guy.
Yeah, it's just a white dude. Yeah.
Yeah,
I have mixed feelings about that.
I think whoever can do the best voice should do it. I understand about representation, but
Well, I think with Pooh thing, they were saying that it was supposedly offensive.
you got to give some slack for these older series.
So, I mean, obviously, I haven't watched the movies in their entirety. I've just kind of seen some clips. Having seen them, Bill, would you say that they're at least worth a watch? I mean, probably.
The only reason I would say that Lion King is worth a watch is to see how bad it is. Seriously, I mean, I feel very strongly if you want to watch The Lion King, just watch the animated version and save yourself from the abomination that was the live action one. Well, Aladdin is at least palatable enough that if you like Will Smith, sure, watch it. You know, nowhere near as good as the animated version, which is sad because I'm sure they had tons of money to pour into that kind of thing, and they could have done a better version. But yeah, Lion King, no. Aladdin, I suppose. I mean, Beauty and the Beast was okay. Some of the other live actions were all right.
What other live actions were there, really? I mean, Jungle Book, I think, was actually the first one, I believe. Then Beauty and the Beast.
Which fell flat again. I don't really know why. I don't know.
Well, the Jungle Book doesn't really have...
Lion King.
It doesn't really have the power without the animation. It's hard to do. It's not really live action. A lot of those...
Well, they did a live action Cinderella. They did a live action... Snow White and the Huntsman. Which I meant to... Go ahead.
I was going to say, I meant to mention it earlier, because that was like their... I think that was one of the early forays into it, and they made that one the dark and gritty.
Yeah, but which I liked, but the acting was so terrible and the casting was so terrible that you just never connected with it. Like they didn't flesh out the story, they didn't flesh out the dialogue. The acting was terrible. The chick from Twilight has, you can't act her way out of a paper bag. I mean, she's got like one facial expression and terrible line delivery in everything she does. Why pick her as the main character? Because she's supposed to be the one that's like the prettiest in all the kingdom. It's pretty, not to be, messed up about it, but come on, and you expect me to believe that Charlize Theron is jealous of her? I think not.
It's a fair point.
I mean, come on.
Yeah, if we had to choose.
Give me a break. Yeah.
10 out of 10 times. Not that Kristen Stewart isn't attractive. She is.
No, she's all right. Totally I'm not going to sit here and, be like a jerk or be super objectifying, but it's just kind of a little unbalanced that you're like, oh, she's supposed to be so enraged with jealousy at the how beautiful this woman is. And I'm like, and that's your pick? Is she though?
Full of the Ragnarok references today.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, but I think that was a missed opportunity, and that's probably why after that they were like, "Oh, forget the whole, going gritty and realistic with it. Let's just make the animated film exactly the same, but with live action sequences."
Didn't they have some success with Wicket, which was more of a subversion of the Snow White tale?
That was the Broadway, right?
Yeah, that was Wizard of Oz, I think, wasn't it? Yeah, that was supposed to be the Wicked Witch.
No, I don't know.
You're thinking of Maleficent.
Yes, Maleficent. Okay, maybe that's something different, but...
Yeah.
Yeah, Wicked was the Wicked Witch of the West. It was like one of those twisted fairy tales where...
Oh, yeah, I'm getting the name of the movie wrong, but there was one.
Yeah.
There was one. Maleficent. Okay, that's where I'm getting it wrong.
Which was... It was the same character, but if I remember right, that was like her backstory, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Or at least a portion of the movie was spent around her backstory and why she turned evil. So I remember it being fairly decent,
I thought Angelina killed it in that role, to be honest. That actually made me like her as an actress.
Yeah, she
Because,
was
you know,
getting
that
pretty
she was fan.
unlikable up until that point.
Yeah, Hackers was okay. Wanted was a
Mm.
big piece of shit. Salt was all right. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, Tomb Raider and all that kind of was like,
Oh, gross.
blah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mr. and Mrs. Smith was all right.
Yeah, that was okay. There was one where she knew that she was dying or something. That one was okay. I don't remember what it was called though. Yeah, interesting. Do you think do they have any other live action remakes on the horizon?
Oh, Little
Or
Mermaid.
live action?
Yeah.
Oh,
What
right.
did they make? Did they make that already? Did it go like straight to Disney Plus or something? I forget what the
I
deal
haven't
with that
seen
one
it
was.
pop up. Maybe they
Maybe
are.
that was just the Broadway thing. I don't know.
I just know everyone was outraged. It was a black mermaid, Little Mermaid. I mean, if they want to give
Oh,
it,
right.
if they want to give it a Jamaican feel, that would actually be a good way to go with it.
Yeah, some
Okay.
sort of Caribbean
Yeah,
kind of a thing.
Caribbean, that would work. They would have to change the script for it to work well. I mean, that was another of those big ones that we put on the top 10, top 5. Little
Looks like
Mermaid.
it was it a straight to TV?
Oh, was it?
That's fucked up.
Looks like it might have been straight to TV. I was just looking it up because they did do it. Yeah, it was on ABC. So I don't know if it. Yeah,
Oh, right, because Disney owns ABC, right?
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it came and went, and no one really made much of a fuss about it. Okay.
Yeah, because they like adapted the Broadway thing. I don't know.
Oh, okay. It wasn't a big hoopla as it was made out to be.
Everybody was like freaking out about that. It was so stupid.
Well, everyone
Yeah.
was freaking out about the cast in A Witcher. I think it was the same time period. The whole race swap from redheads to African American characters.
Oh, that's right. You keep talking about that.
I just find it funny. The race swap always happens with the redheads.
You can only have the redheads. That's fucked up.
White people are fine with getting rid of the gingers from their lexicon or whatever.
Next thing you know, Miss Frizzle's gonna be race swapped.
Magic School Bus?
But
Yeah.
I know
I
they did
remember,
a
like,
remake
everybody-
of that.
Did they?
No, I remember they made a remake. I'm pretty sure Miss Frizzle was still redhead, but I didn't actually watch it. Watched it as a kid, so just I see it popped up someplace. They did a remake. Yada yada yada.
Yeah, I don't really see what the whole thing with the Little Mermaid. Well, first of all, I don't even think that the girl was black. I think she's like Hawaiian or something. But everybody was just like, I don't know, being racist morons, and we're like, if you're not completely white, and blah 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 blah, it's like she's like a light skinned Hawaiian. I don't know, maybe she is, but
I don't
I know
actually care.
she had the pipes for it and was the right age, so get over it.
Yeah.
By
But
the
we
way,
were just talking about.
voiced Moana, which you all haven't seen.
I love how into Moana Bill is.
No, I've
just
seen it. It just my daughter watched it like 3 times, and I was just on the side dazing it out. It had its funny bits. It had its songs that weren't quite iconic. They were catchy, but not iconic. Now that doesn't need a live action. They're doing Mulan without Eddie Murphy's dragon
Oh, right.
character.
Mulan.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, we'll see how that. Maybe they're going to go more like. I don't know though, because I remember seeing the trailer, thinking, okay, well they're going to go more realistic and gritty, and I can appreciate that. That's why they're getting rid of Mushu. But I'm pretty sure there was like scenes where they were talking about magic and junk, and it got all like Crouching Tiger for a second, if I remember right. And I was like,
Mulan, directed
"What?"
by Ang Lee, or whatever the flavor of Asian director there is now.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch the trailer for it. But I remember being like, well, if you're gonna have magic elements, why would you cut out Mushu then?
Maybe they'll have a dragon hybrid Eddie Murphy-ish character that they didn't throw in the trailers. I mean, trailers nowadays just give away too much. It would be nice if they kept some of the elements, but kept it out of the trailers for, outrage. But you watch the movie, there is a dragon-like character now. But there is something to say about deciding to do certain decisions based on reaction trailer, like the Sonic movie.
No, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, people.
Maybe there'll be so many people outraged they'll bring back Mushu.
Yeah, I'd sign that
It's
petition.
possible. I
bet
they
you it has
changed
something
the
to do
design
with-
of Sonic thanks to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll like George Lucas it and animate him in for a remaster version, right?
Yeah, that'd be funny. Just kind of throw him in there, interject a couple of quips. No one really acknowledges him because they're literally just throwing him in the middle of the scenes.
George Lucas style.
Throw in some do-back writers for good measure.
Yeah, why?
So, are there actually any
started
Disney
on the
movies you
remaster.
think that would be improved with a live action?
Ooh.
I mean, like bad ones or passable ones.
That haven't already been done though, because the story like for like Hercules or Hunchback, those are.
Hercules might actually be one that would be better live action.
Like if they took the actual Disney version and just made it live
No,
action?
I would say they would have to adapt it differently a little bit. Make it.
Because I feel like there's been Hercules movies,
Yeah.
Yeah, but one with music in it.
Okay.
Because the Hercules movie was definitely not my top favorite Disney movies, but that was sort of the Disney fatigue area after some great hits.
I mean, I feel like they could definitely do a better Pocahontas.
Oh,
But then
yes.
again, that probably has been done. I don't know, but I'm sure that could benefit from a gritty, more historically accurate update for a live action.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make her a little bit more strong and independent. I mean, she was pretty on the nose with that one.
Well, she was
Although I feel
much older too.
Yeah, I feel like people would really not be ready for the actual story of Pocahontas.
No.
Go to see a Disney film and be like, oh God, yeah. Yeah. All the
I'm trying to
white
think
people just slowly backing out of the theater, right?
Sorry, guys. Here, I'm just gonna leave some money on the screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't think of any strictly original Disney, because obviously there's been a Tarzan, there's been a billion Robin Hoods,
Yeah, I was going to say Robin Hood has been done a lot.
but just a straight up Disney movie remade in live action. I'm talking slow so that I can try to think of one.
I'd say King Arthur also is another one, but that's also been done a million times before.
Yeah.
But with the musical aspect, I don't know if it could be done better live action.
I mean, Little Mermaid would be difficult, obviously, because it's underwater, so you
Yeah.
need a ton of special effects with that one.
Yeah, it would have to be CG.
I feel like they'll
most of it.
eventually do them all at this rate. Alice in Wonderland, I think, was a great. Was Alice in Wonderland? Alice in Wonderland was Disney, right? That could have been done so much better than that fucking Tim Burton travesty.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah, I've given up on Tim Burton. He's one of those overrated. Did we mention him in overrated directors?
Goddamn
I think
right.
you did.
I think
Yeah.
that was the.
Number 5 spot after George Lucas was put on
I think
4
that was the
times.
inspiration for the podcast. Me railing on Tim Burton.
Yeah.
And Kevin Smith.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm a little surprised we didn't get a lot more nerd rage over that one. Yeah. I mean, just for putting George Lucas on there, I'm sure somebody's head exploded over that. What?
Who was it you, Bill, that was telling me that you watched the Jay and Silent Bob reboot and it was terrible?
No, it's Brian.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was me. That was just him winking himself off the whole movie.
I'm
That's
sure,
what I felt.
I'm sure it was. Yeah.
He had himself on there twice, both as Kevin Smith and as Silent Bob. And they tried to recreate the Iron Man scene with effects. And that I'm just like, really? They got the effects sort of right, it just didn't fit. And God is Alanis Morissette. He told his daughter, Jay did, like, God looks just like Alanis Morissette. She's like, I can see that.
That makes it even worse.
Yeah, it really does.
These are tying it back to that. Okay, I'm
Totally close the book on this.
Let's close the book on this podcast. Anyone has any last statements before I take us out?
I don't think so. I was just trying to think of if there was any other live action films that I'd want to see.
Small prediction. In the next 10 years, they're going to remake Aladdin again.
Ooh.
Maybe with Jack Black this time.
Jack Black, yeah.
We can hope.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us for this And Go podcast. I hope there's plenty of opinions and things we said that offended you, so make sure to leave a dislike and a nasty comment down there in the comments, or if I happen to upload this on any actual podcast things, make sure to dislike it the same. Well, thank you for listening, and take care.